Okay guys, we went over Pokemon fans, Steven Universe fans, and of course the Smash fanbase. Dragon Ball Z fanboys. Easily, quite possibly, the most annoying group of people in history. Dragon Ball Z fanboys are quite possibly some of the more annoying fanboys out there. I can like Superman. I know there are certain forms of Superman that can beat Goku, and of course Superman that loses to Goku. But Dragon Ball Z fanboys will say that Goku always loses, always wins against Superman. Always. Because they said so. Of course we all know, I know School Attack is DC fanboys, because we all know New 52 and Pre-Crisis Superman are not the same character. You can't make Superman is not a composite. We all know that. And of course, like New 52, Goku of course beats New 52 easily. But then saying Cosmic Armor Superman, which is considered our like hyperversal level, would basically lose would lose to Goku when Goku's considered low multiversal. These guys are just stupid. You're saying that basically of course, there are people who, of course, say that Yamcha could solo Naruto. There are some Naruto characters can beat Yamcha, okay? Naruto can beat Yamcha. There's people really saying that Yamcha solos Naruto. Yamcha wouldn't fly, but Naruto characters, they have hacks abilities, like Madara and Kaguya and Naruto himself. They can use their hacks and they can clone himself 1,000 times. And you have 1,000 planet level opponents fighting Yamcha, and Yamcha would lose. And then, we have also One Punch Man fanboys, which we could go over some other day. But then those DBZ fanboys get butthurt when Superman beats Goku with Death Battles. The first one, that was because Death Battles points have sneaky sit on Dragon Ball fanboys. And they're really just making it, basically saying that Goku would lose against Superman because Goku more decreases his power level and Goku is so weak. Like in the first Goku vs Superman Death Battle, yeah, they're trying to make Goku weak and they're trying to downplay Goku, but it's still what they think who would win. It's not what we think. They still can choose who they win and who doesn't. There are many battles where Goku vs Superman, Goku beats Superman. There are battles where Superman can beat Goku. Okay? There are scenarios where Superman can beat Goku and Goku can beat Superman. There are many, Ultra Instinct Goku. They'll probably update with Ultra Instinct Goku and say Superman's limitless and say Superman is not limitless and especially if you use Ultra Instinct Goku, they can still probably beat Superman, but there's still some versions of Superman that still can beat Goku at all, and then there are people who are saying Goku can beat Thanos. Goku cannot beat Thanos, okay? Thanos is beyond Ultra Instinct. Dragon Ball Z fanboys. And then now we're done with power scaling. Now going to the actual shows themselves. Dragon Ball Z fanboys will literally say Super is the worst show ever. But then the cry and whine when Goku loses to Superman. These guys will cry and whine over. But then they'll say Dragon Ball Super is the worst thing ever because of a few bad episodes. Every show has bad episodes, okay? Even the so-called most perfect shows in history have bad episodes, okay? You can't just say bad episode have it, and of course they will complain about ZT and say it's not canon. Of course, Dragon Ball Z fanboys will basically hop on ZT and say it's a bad show, not because of the quality of the show itself, because it's not canon. Does anybody even care if Dragon Ball ZT is canon or not? Nobody cares. Nobody cares if the movies are not canon or not. And nobody freaking cares what's canon and what's not canon. You go too far deep into stuff, and then you'll complain that it's not what you want. But then, when they make a canon Dragon Ball Z show, they'll complain anyways that it's not what they wanted. It's not the same thing as the original show. What do you guys want? Do you guys want to have like a fight go on for like 90 episodes? Because one of the main things about Dragon Ball Z was the fights gone for long. The fights were short. They weren't as long except for the Dragon Ball Tournament of Power, which was like 20 to 40 episodes of just fighting. But then there were people who claimed that like they say Dragon Ball Super is the worst thing ever. They're literally saying Dragon Ball Super is the worst anime ever because they can't get over the fact that they can't get over nostalgia. It's the same thing with most other fan bases. Pokemon and Smash Bros. Also have this nostalgia problem. It's nostalgia. And then there are people who hate Dragon Ball Z Kai because it's an edited version of Dragon Ball Z. Because it doesn't have the Bruce Faulconer music in it. Really? You're gonna say these versions, these 4 versions, like, there's lots of Dragon Ball Z versions and dubs without the Faulconer dub. But then there are people really saying they're not true Dragon Ball Z fans if you don't have if you can't listen to Dragon Ball Z fan without Faulconer dub, Faulconer music. Really? Are you freaking kidding me? I've watched Dragon Ball Z without the music and it's not, and it basically does the same show. Just because you change the music doesn't mean the show is any different, okay? It's the same story, same plot, and same everything. The music does make it better, but and then there are people who will say that like when there's things that say 5 things that make you choose Dragon Ball Z fan, there are also another part of Dragon Ball Z fan base, and this is a subsection of Dragon Ball Z fans, Broly fans. Yes, Broly fans. There are little people who think Broly can beat everybody. Broly's invincible. Broly has infinite power. So basically, if Broly had the so-called infinite power, then how can he lose to Superman? I guess if Superman and Broly can't kill each other if they have infinite power. I'll go with DC Fanboys another day, because DC Fanboys really claim that Superman is the strongest character ever to exist in fiction, and I'll disprove that as well. There are characters that can beat Superman. I'm not going to go for Dragon Ball Z at all, because there are many characters that are not Dragon Ball Z that can beat Superman. They're from movies, games, and TV shows, and they can kill Superman really easily. Reality warpers and characters like that. But Broly Tots, that's what they're called, really believe Broly souls everybody and beats everybody. These guys are stupid. Like, Broly was beaten by Goku. We all know that. So now you're telling me that Broly can beat Thanos and Superman because Broly has infinite power. Broly does not have infinite power. Okay? And then there are people who... And then, let's go to the last part. People who will say, if you like certain parts about Dragon Ball Z, you're not a true Dragon Ball Z fan. If you like the Great Saiyaman moment, according to certain Dragon Ball Z fanboys, you're not a true Dragon Ball Z fanboy. And if you like certain filler, if you don't like certain episodes, you're not a real Dragon Ball Z fan. Of course, if you don't like the show, you're not a Dragon Ball Z fan. But if you're saying you can't like a certain part of Dragon Ball Z fan, basically there are people saying that, oh, you're a true Dragon Ball Z fan if you do this, you do that. There's no guidelines to whether you like a show or if you don't like a show. Anybody can enjoy a show. Anyone can enjoy a show. But of course, if you go to the Dragon Ball Z fanboys, they say if you don't like a show, if you like a certain game or like a certain movie, or you don't like, they can go by. If you don't agree with them, according to Dragon Ball Z fanboys, you're a retard, and you can't be a Dragon Ball Z fanboy because you can't basically accept this. And a lot of Dragon Ball Z fanboys are kind of losers, if you really think about that, because they'll criticize and hop on people if you don't like certain parts of Dragon Ball, if you like certain parts of Dragon Ball Z, and they don't, if you don't agree with them, they'll complain and cry and whine. They'll complain about everything about Dragon Ball Z. They'll complain about DC, they'll complain about Marvel, they'll say Naruto is, the next part, they'll say Naruto is the worst show ever. Yes, the Dragon Ball Z fans will say Naruto and any other anime show, and any cartoon and any other media is terrible, and only Dragon Ball Z is the good show. No other anime is good. Everything is a rip-off of Dragon Ball Z and you should never like it. And then, those Dragon Ball Z fans saying that there's time to admit that Dragon Ball Super is terrible. So Dragon Ball Z fans who like Dragon Ball Super, you can't like Dragon Ball Super now, because Dragon Ball Z fanboys will basically say Dragon Ball Super is the worst thing ever, and it's a awful piece of crap that should be ignored. A lot people can like Dragon Ball Super if they want. It's different. There's a difference between Boruto and Dragon Ball Super. Dragon Ball Super is actually a decent show. It's decent show compared to some of the other show garbage that Japanese animation shows have been putting out. And then there are people who are basically saying that the boy movie's gonna be garbage because boys show have never been canon. Basically, if you're complaining about Broly being canon in Dragon Ball Super, you can basically be quiet now, because basically you're not a real Dragon Ball Z fanboy. You're not even excited for a movie that's coming out because you don't like a certain character, because one of his movies was not good enough for you. And then there are people who are Dragon Ball Z fanboys who will say you can't enjoy a certain movie, Dragon Ball Z movie, without dealing with these guys saying basically you're dumb for liking a certain movie. And Star Wars fans and Dragon Ball Z fans are very much alike. If you enjoy certain movies and certain parts of the series, the fanboys will hop on you. They will. 90s kids, which are mostly 90s kids who watched Dragon Ball Z as a kid, they'll hop on people who like Dragon Ball Super and call them dummies, retards, and stupid, and call them not real fans, and etc, etc, etc. If you like Dragon Ball GT, they'll say the same exact thing. And if you like several of the games and movies, they'll say exactly the same thing. And if you like the new movies, they'll say the same thing. Basically, just ignore these guys. Most of the Dragon Ball Z fan base is actually pretty nice and not pretty evil. They're pretty welcoming, like most fan bases are, like Mario, like the other, like Pokemon and Smash Brothers. But it's just these guys who just do not care. Just leave a bad stain on the Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball fandom as a whole. And there are real people who are calling Dragon Ball fans, if you like Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Super, losers, because unless you say Dragon Ball Evolution is the greatest thing ever. But if you like, according to these guys, if you like Dragon Ball Z, you're losers, according to this guy on this website. But you can basically like whatever you want. You can like Dragon Ball Super, you can like Dragon Ball Z Broly, you can even like Dragon Ball Evolution. Don't listen to Dragon Ball Z fanboys. You can like whatever part of Dragon Ball you like and whatever part of Dragon Ball you find enjoyable. Don't listen to these fanboys, because they do not care about Dragon Ball Z. They set these dumb guidelines for people to follow. There's no commandments to Dragon Ball Z. There's no, you know what, you don't like this, you're not a real fanboy. You don't do this, you're not a real fan of Dragon Ball Z. You're not a true fan if you watch Dragon Ball Z without this. You're not a true fan. And then, we haven't gotten to the worst part of Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball Z fanboys will literally claim that Goku wins everybody. Of course, there are those fans who will say that Goku can beat everybody. And then, there are the fans who complain about who basically constantly criticize Dragon Ball Super, but then they ignore all the problems in some of the problems in plot holes and problems in Dragon Ball Z. As many plot holes, there's a lot of plot holes in Dragon Ball Z as well. That is basically there's a lot of plot holes in Dragon Ball Z, but then they'll go say Dragon Ball Super is a bad show because it has too many plot holes. Dragon Ball Z has a lot of plot holes and a lot of changes from the original manga. Yeah, the Dragon Ball Super manga is bad and the anime is way better, but Dragon Ball Z does have its own plot holes. I'm sorry. It has its own plot holes and own plot problems, like any piece of media ever. Nothing is ever considered perfect. But then the Dragon Ball Z fanboys have plot holes. And Dragon Ball Super has major plot holes, but Dragon Ball Z has a lot of plot holes as well, such as basically Frieza's family. We don't even know anything about that, and Dragon Ball's rules, and like Goku's escapes from Namek. Buddha's even play by rules. Plan Vegeta's plot holes, and of course the many things over 8,000. Of course the biggest, the 5 minutes. Basically, Dragon Ball Super does have some massive plot holes, but Dragon Ball Z has as well. Dragon Ball Z fanboys just need to stop with this. You can like Dragon Ball Super if you want. The Dragon Ball Z fanboys have gotten worse when Dragon Ball Super has come out. Dragon Ball Z fanboy, Dragon Ball Z fanbase, Dragon Ball Z fanboys have got bad after the battle between Goku and Superman, and made by of course Death Battle. And then it got worse when Dragon Ball Super come out, when they had a few bad episodes of some bad animation, which even the creator of Dragon Ball Z criticized of that. But then now they just refuse to watch it because everything afterwards is considered just completely trash according to Dragon Ball Z fanboys. So just ignore these guys. These guys basically don't really care about the show. They only care about themselves. Most of Dragon Ball Z is very welcoming and very good. And you can like whoever you want. Goodbye.